I love those videos, and I have one question for you today. This Christmas, this is the question: have you replaced baby Jesus with a gummy bear? The title of today's message is Replacing God. And I just want to chat to us about it just for the few minutes that we got, because, it's so easy to just replace God or replace Jesus with not necessarily a gummy bear, but it can be so easy to replace God with the busyness of life, with the getting ready for Christmas, with how decorated your house is, and a whole bunch of stuff. And I just want to chat to us about that just for a few moments today. I do want to welcome everyone that is watching online or is down in the lounge room. I want to say this, that when you're watching online or whether you're watching down in the lounge room, I want you to know that we feel that you're just as much a part of this service as actually being here live, while we're doing this. And wherever you are and whenever you're watching this, I just want to welcome you as well for just clicking on, watching it, and listening to this Christmas message. So I just believe that there's something good that we're going to get out of this today. So today's message, the Christmas message, is called Replacing God. And you know what? It has been a crazy year. I mean, we've got COVID-19. We never know whether we're coming or going, booking holidays, not booking holidays, can visit people, can't visit people. We never know whether we're 2.5 meters away from each other, 1.5 meters away from each other, whether we can catch a plane, not catch a plane, whether we can go to Sydney, whether we can't go to Sydney or any other state. It's been crazy. I mean, I have never seen anything like that before. We have had no church for 9 months. And in the history of my life, I can never remember that there was just no church for such a long period of time. There was months and months and months where I didn't see anybody, just nobody at all. And I know that Cherie and other people that I've been talking to, it's so easy to just realize that for all this extended period of time, we're disconnected. There's no church. We're not seeing other people. We don't know whether we can go anywhere. It's crazy. We spent 4 months fitting out this new church here. And that was just a project that was thrust upon us. Obviously, we were in Panthers Club while we were just camping there for a while we were getting on with the new project. And then because of COVID, they still have not let live functions in or groups like us to come back. So, we saw the writing on the wall that was going to be very different from what it used to be. And we spent all this time fitting out this building, with the downstairs lounge room and the studio area here and upstairs for the kids, which has worked really good and has come up fantastic. But crazy time of year, let alone all the personal stuff that we've been through. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm not going to list off all my personal issues because we don't have long enough. But there's a lot of things that have been going on in my life and in my family. And I know that people have got stuff going on with their health and stuff going on with their family and stuff going on with work and careers, just personal stuff. And all of this has been thrust upon us this year. And it's been a fair bit, has been happening. This year, out of all the years that I have pastored a church, this year would be the easiest year ever to replace Jesus with something else. Like really, really easy to do so. Out of routine, not coming to church every week, not getting involved in that, and not being prompted by other people to keep on track. It's been a crazy year, and I want to talk to you. Even just being absent from church from 9 months, it's easy to just wander off. Today my son Zach, I think he's here somewhere, but he got a watch from his girlfriend, and the watch had a compass in it. And north, south, east, and west sort of compass. And I was thinking about it the other day. I didn't know he was going to get the compass for Christmas on his watch, but I was thinking about it the other day. And church is a little bit like a compass. Church is not God. This meeting here is not God. That's not the God that we serve. But church is more like a compass. And what it does, it keeps directing you in the right direction. Every time someone speaks the word, it directs you to change this in your life, or to forgive that person, or to do this, or to let go of that, or to hang on to that, or to press in, or to touch God, or just stand there and just give him a moment of your time. Church is like a compass that helps guiding us, yet we haven't had that compass all year. This year would have been the easiest year ever to replace God or to replace Jesus with something else, especially without the compass that we call church. You know, the Bible says, and this is out of Matthew chapter 16, and it is Jesus speaking to Simon, and he said this. Jesus said, "Who do people say that I am?" Who do people say that I am? Jesus said, "Who do people say that I am?" And some of the disciples said, "Oh, we think, some are saying that you're John the Baptist." I don't get that one. Like, he was baptized by John the Baptist, and they're both on the planet at the same time, so I'm not sure why they think he was John the Baptist. But anyway, that's another story. Others say he's Elijah. Others say Jeremiah, one of the prophets. And Jesus was asking, who do you think? I mean, he was a baby born, in a manger. We're celebrating that today. But he's asking the disciples, who do people say that I am? And none of them had the right answer. And then Simon said this. He said, "This is who I think you are. I think that you are," not a gummy bear, wrong. "I think that you are the Son of the living God." The God that created the world, the God that formed us, the God that's there for us, the God that's got eternity for us, the God that walks with us no matter what we walk through, no matter what we face in life. I think, Jesus, that you're the Son of that living God. And do you know what Jesus said to him? He said, "Simon," he said, you have got this correct. And I'll tell you, Simon, his name is Simon Peter. He said, "I'll tell you this, Simon Peter, on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not overcome it." So there was something that was said in that critical moment, that when people realized that Jesus that was born to us, we're celebrating that today, was actually the Son of the living God that created everything, then Jesus said to him, on that understanding, on that revelation, on you knowing that Jesus is not a gummy bear, but Jesus is actually the Son of the living God, on that I'm going to build what? The church. Not individual Christians. The church, a group of people that can get together, that know who I am, and can be one in a church and actually go out there and change the world, and until he comes back again, spread the message of hope, love, grace, forgiveness, and everything else. Yet what was shut down in COVID-19 wasn't relationship with God, it was the church. And I just want to point out today that it is so easy to replace baby Jesus with a gummy bear on the video. It's so easy to replace God with the busyness of our life. But you know what else? It's so easy just to replace church with a gummy bear, and we lose that compass and that encouragement of what Jesus said was the reason why he came. He was born, yes. Why? To establish his church, a bunch of people that are like-minded, believe the same thing, and can go forward in what he's asked us to do. And I just believe that we need that constant reminder, and we need to start making room for Jesus. You see, there was no room for Jesus when he was born. That's why he ended up being born in a stable. No room in the inn, There was no room for Jesus, or Jesus was lost on the nativity scene on the video we saw and replaced with a gummy bear. But you know what? We may think that's a story about the stable, and that's just what happened, and that happens, and that was a gummy bear. It's just a funny video. But how many times have we replaced the God in our life with something as silly as a gummy bear, with something as silly as just being too busy, or everything else crowding over us, and we forget these things? And I want to remind us this year, this Christmas, this is my message: don't replace God with anything. Don't replace Jesus with anything, because nothing else can replace what he's done for us, and that's what we're doing here today. The Matthew 6 says this, 16, at the end of that chapter about building his church. He said this, and I'll give you the keys of the kingdom. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. He gave incredible power to the church. Us as a body of people have incredible power. We may not have met for 9 months, but I want to tell you, us together as a body of people have power to do something so awesome in this town and awesome in this area. And don't let that be replaced with a gummy bear. Don't think it's all over. Don't think things are never going to be the same again. I hope they are never the same again, but I hope Jesus is not replaced as a gummy bear in our life, and church is replaced and God's replaced with everything else that has just happened this year. I want to keep it up front and center because there's incredible power that the church has, and that's us coming together. Keeping church keeps pointing us in the right direction. We point each other in the right direction every single week. Take out 2020. Take out all the time that we've missed with connecting with God, and take out what COVID has done, and let's realize that this year has been one of the best years ever to actually test us where we're at. To find out whether we really are committed or we just come to church out of a religious routine. Whether we really want to step up and say, I'm going to follow you no matter what happens in this world, or whether baby Jesus is just really a story and being replaced with everything else because it's been so easy to do so this year out of all the years that we've done. You know, don't replace Jesus with a gummy bear. Don't replace him with being busy. Don't replace him with having to get your family dinner just so awesomely right and everything set up and busyness of life, and then there's no room for God. I am so glad that you made it today. I'm so glad that you're watching online. I'm so glad that you have made the time to just stop and say, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I'm not replacing Jesus with a gummy bear. I know it sounds weird, but just you say, what did you learn at church today? Well, we're not going to replace Jesus with a gummy bear. Great Christmas message. But you'll know exactly what that means. And out of all the years, it's probably the year we need to have it. But it's not just a gummy bear. It's the busyness of life. It could be TV. Man, I binge watched a television show this year on Netflix. I'm up to series 4, episode 28. I looked back and counted. I thought, what is there, 48 hours of this television show that I was watching? 48 hours that I'll never, ever get back. Some of it was good and I enjoyed it, but it's not the point. The point is you can be so busy catching up on binge watching Netflix, so busy on locked into your computer game, so busy on getting everything right for the family, so busy on a bunch of stuff that it's not a gummy bear, but it's just all the other stuff that we've decided to do. Now this has happened and around us. Just be careful of that. You know, I want to close with this. I went to a funeral last week, and it was actually Julie's mum down in Victoria. Sorry, I was paying attention. I do apologise. It was Julie's dad down in Victoria, and I thought to myself that that's the end of life. Like, that was the end of his life. And the reason why I bring that up today is because Jesus being born on Christmas was the beginning of his life. But it's not just the beginning of his life. When you find Jesus and you actually find that relationship with him, when you actually find Jesus and realize that you get that understanding that he is the Son of the living God and he is here to help us, save us, forgive us, guide us, and be there for us. When we get that revelation, it is the beginning of life for us. You see, walking with God it honestly can be the best thing that's ever happened to you. It should be the best thing that's ever happened to you. And I want to say this, and I know it sounds a bit rough, but if you have replaced Jesus and the relationship with God with a gummy bear and the busyness of life and things that have happened, I wonder how deep that relationship really was. Like, how deep was it? And now that's not a criticism, that's a challenge for us, that we may have been going to church for the last 20 years, but is Jesus still a gummy bear? We may be in here for the very first time. You may be watching for the very first time. You may have messed up and walked away from God, and now you're not even with God. But let me tell you something. Jesus is not a gummy bear. He is the Son of the living God. He really is the guy that he said that he was. End of life, last week at the funeral. Beginning of life right here in Christmas 2020. It's not such a bad year if you get your life on the right track. It's not such a bad year if you find yourself listening to me and watching and going, wow, I can get on with that. I can change that. I can do that. Because I'm telling you, when no matter what you've done in your life, no matter where you've made a wrong turn, and back to the compass, skipping church, it's easy to get lost without the compass. But even if you've got lost, skipped church, and you've gone in the wrong direction, today, God can give you a brand new compass and say, you know what? You can start to follow me from in 2021. And my grace is sufficient for everything you've ever done, and I can walk with you no matter what you've walked through, and no matter what you're facing, what you're addicted to, what you're involved in, how bad your life's been. It can be a fresh start. Christmas 2020. End of life, beginning of life. Luke 9:23 says this. This is Jesus speaking. He said this for whoever wants to save his life will lose it. What that means is you live just for you. Everything's about you, your family, your life, your needs, your wants. If you put you first, Jesus says you'll actually end up losing your life and you'll actually be very unhappy. Because when you just take everything for yourself, I'll just drink that, smoke that, grow that, be that, watch that. When it's all about you, Jesus says it will end badly when everything's centered around you. But then he said this, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. In other words, if you give your life to God and say, you know what, I want to put you first in 21 and not me first as I have for the last however long it's been, God says that's how you get your life. That's how you get the real life that God intended you to live. Will there still be challenges? Absolutely. Will you get through them? Because of Jesus? Absolutely. Because he says that, for what good is it to a man to gain the whole world, yet lose or forfeit himself or his soul? You see, don't live for yourself. Here's my Christian message. Don't replace Jesus with a gummy bear, which is sort of saying you're a Christian but you're not really following it. Or don't just live for yourself and you don't care who Jesus is. All of them end badly. They all end badly. But if you put him first, then everything works out. You see, this is the clincher, and I just read it to you. What good is it if a man gains the whole world yet loses his own soul? See, it's possible that you are quite well off. It's possible your business is cracking. It's possible you've got plenty of money in the bank. It's possible that everything around your life is amazing. It's possible that you're having a better life than anybody else that's in this room. But Jesus says, even if it gets to that point, what good is it if you gain the whole world and have everything, but then you lose your soul and you lose your eternity? It doesn't matter which way it goes. You can't replace him with a gummy bear. You can't just live for yourself. And even if you do live for yourself and you think you're the most successful thing since sliced bread, which is pretty good if it's white, doesn't mean anything if you ultimately get to the end of your life like Julie's dad and you've lost your whole soul and your connection with the eternal God. Now, Julie's dad didn't do that, which I'm such a great funeral. It was a really good funeral. But you know what? Because we knew where he was going. Do you know where you're going? I wonder when you die whether you'll just run into God's arms or you'll just be looking for a gummy bear and wonder where it went wrong. As the band comes, because I'm done. I'm done at 9:45. No, it's a Christmas miracle. Why? How could you ever? People say, you know what, Mark, you got such a great life and such a great church. You're going to get really proud. How could you ever get proud with people like that in your church? How could I possibly ever think how awesome I am with a daughter-in-law like Kirsty? I feel like I'm the old pastor, you know. You guys keep me humble and poor, and I won't go sideways. Here's a tip for 2020. Everything you try to replace Jesus with never last. So keep him up front in the middle of your life. Make sure you drop in and check your compass regularly. Weekly you should check your compass to make sure you're on the right track. And make sure you stay the course regardless of what happens in this world. Awesome? Goodbye. Let's love on God. Bless you guys.